Hello and welcome to another review of a film that I've seen on Mubi. If you didn't see the last review, Joe's had to take a break from doing the reviews at the moment. It won't be the same without him, but I'm going to have a go at doing them by myself. Today's film is the Polish film Sweat by the director Magnus van Horn. This film wasn't what I expected at all in terms of a film about social media and influencers. I found it a really intelligent, clever, effective film and thoroughly enjoyed it, actually. I think it would be so easy to get it wrong making a film about social media. Influencers are an easy target, and I thought that this never felt like cliche. It was quite subtle and underplayed and minimalist, really. And there is a story that plays out, but it never overplays the drama, or there's no music to kind of create the atmosphere. The environment is kind of very sterile. The lighting is artificial. It's a real kind of fantasy world that feels a little bit like a set, like scenery, and I think it's really well made. This film is about a lot of things. It had me thinking quite a lot afterwards. I mean, obviously, it's about commercialism. It's about every part of someone's life being up for sale. It's about a longing for something, things that promise so much, yet the end product being emptiness and the need for more. The image and fantasy of a kind of perfect life versus the reality of loneliness and disappointment. But as I say, these things, it would be so easy for them to be cliched, but they're not at all. This film is actually, it kind of reversed my expectation of what this would be about, and it's as much from the point of view of Sylvia, the influencer, as of the viewers and consumers of her work. It's quite sad, really. There's a sense in which she's really trying to be authentic. Quite early on in the film, she does a post where she admits that she's really lonely and a bit sad, and this post goes viral, and one of the sponsors is very unhappy that she's shown such a flaw. And there's something, you automatically you root for her from quite early on in the film, because you can see that there is an authenticity, and actually she is trying to connect. She's trying to be genuine. When she meets the woman in the shopping mall who's like really pleased and thrilled to see her and wants to tell her about her life and her problems, Sylvia then listens, but then talks a little bit about her life, and the woman's not interested at all. And again, it reverses the kind of what you might expect in that scene, that it's actually Sylvia, the influencer, who is longing for connection and, perhaps more authentic than her audience. And then there's the scene of the family meal, which is at one level quite really sad, because Sylvia is this beautiful woman with a beautiful smile, and she turns up and she's desperately trying to make her mum's birthday a special occasion, but the family just isn't very nice to her, and particularly the mum. And it's clear that there's dysfunction, there's unhappiness here, and there's so as I say, the film is actually much more about kind of her sadness and her need for connection, and her being an influencer is not about exploiting people to make money. It is actually about her longing and seeking for connection. So I enjoyed that. It, to the extent that there's a strange scene where there's someone who's stalking her, who, there's a pretty awful scene, an experience that she has with this stalker. Um, Yet this stalker ends up being injured, and she takes him to the hospital. And there's a little moment when she puts his hand on her back, and you just feel there's a strange intimacy there, that even with her kind of her stalker, her abuser almost, that she feels the connection. She feels some compassion for him. So, you wouldn't have expect this to be a film about the influence of being authentic, but I did like that. I loved the way this film is shot. As I've mentioned, the lighting. There is a kind of it is a kind of fantasy neon world, but what I really liked was the camera is often uncomfortably close to the faces. There's a scene where she's working out in the gym, and her face becomes distorted because she's bouncing while she's running, and I just found that really, really effective. And at the family dinner, the kind of awkwardness and the dysfunction is really emphasized by the camera getting very close between the people at the table. There's not a lot of distance, and I really liked that. The acting is amazing. The actress playing Sylvia is fantastic. Really plays the part well. I think overall this is a really compassionate film. You come out feeling that she's the victim here. She's not the kind of superficial perpetrator of this artificiality, that she actually is seeking something genuine. I was thinking about the film PVT Chat that Joe and I reviewed a little while ago. You can still get it if you search in the channel. These are intelligent films about virtual life and the kind of impact on connections that we make through our communication devices. They're quite different films, but I think that they make an interesting pair in terms of, an intelligent look at this virtual world and social media. So next I'm going to review About Endlessness by Roy Andersson.